Like other countries, the Chinese government enacts strict food safety regulations to protect consumers and public health. Currently, there are more than 770 laws, normative documents, and rules governing the food safety issue. The governmental supervision of food safety involves three authorities, including the General Administration of Customs of China, the State Administration for Market Regulation, and the National Health Commission of China. They each have a different scope of competence. For imported foods, China Customs plays a major role in ensuring their conformity to Chinese regulations and standards. Exporters and manufacturers should also notice that even if their food products pass the customs and can be placed on China's market, and they are still subject to supervision and inspection of the State Administration for Market Regulation. There are 4 levels of rules that build up the Chinese food regulatory framework, including food safety law, food safety regulations, national mandatory food safety standards, and other standards such as nationally recommended standards and industry standards. The food safety law sets out general requirements that apply to both domestic food and imported food, which are further specified in detail in relevant regulations made by the State Council or its subordinate governmental departments, such as the General Administration of Customs for Market Regulation. Food safety standards provide technical requirements for one or more specific food categories. In food safety regulations, standards play an important role in providing technical specifications and testing and inspection benchmarks. In principle, imported foods must comply with Chinese food safety standards such as the GB 2760 on food additives and the GB 2762 on the contaminant limit. If there is no applicable standard, the closest existing standard will apply, before a new standard becomes available. For the food that is imported for the first time to China and has no applicable food safety standard, the exporter, manufacturer, or importer of the food must submit the applied national or international standard to the China National Center for Food Safety Risk Assessment. The China National Center for Food Safety Risk Assessment will assess the submitted standard and report the assessment result to the National Health Commission of China for approval. The National Health Commission of China will finally publish an interim applicable standard. The interim standard will be used by the customs for inspection. China's food regulations impose different requirements on companies involved in food exportation and importation. Generally, there are 4 roles in the cross-border food supply chain, including food manufacturer who produces food outside of China, food exporter, food importer, and food dealer who markets and sells the food to consumers. For overseas food manufacturers of meat, aquatic products, or dairy products, they must register with the China customers before exportation. It's worth noticing that, according to a proposal to revise the law, this registration requirement would apply to all overseas food manufacturers in the future. Food exporters and importers or their trade agents must make a filing to the customs before exportation or importation. Food dealers located in China must hold the food business license for selling food to consumers. China's food regulations distinguish between general food and special food. Special food refers to health food, infant formula, and food for special medical purposes. Health food can be further divided into functional health food that claims to have specific health functions and nutrient supplements that are intended to supplement vitamins and minerals. Infant formula includes food for children from 0 to 36 months. Food for special medical purposes is the food especially processed or formulated to meet special physical or physiological conditions or to meet special dietary needs in diseases, disorders, and other states. Compared to general food, special food is subject to more stringent regulations and governmental supervision. For example, before exporting infant formula to China, the exporter or importer must ensure that the product is registered with State Administration for Market Regulation and the product manufacturer is registered with the General Administration of Customs.